What's up, LC heads? So, we finally get our first taste of Guild Battle. Interesting stuff. Now, I wasn't sure how this was going to play out, how they were going to let us go toe to toe, right? Because obviously, if you want like a real guild war, you would have to have two active guilds of people engaging at the same time. You would have to have 10, 20 players on one side and 10, 20 players on the other side, all participating in this at the same time. And that's just kind of impossible, right? Just due to the nature of these being mobile games, people playing this stuff on the go. Some people get on and play after work. Some people get on and play at 3 in the morning. I have people in the guild that they're just on a different time frame. So I was wondering how this was going to work out when guilds only have 20 people in them. Now, if we had 50, 100 people per guild, maybe we could actually set something up where we got 10 people ready, that guild has 10 people ready, and you could actually battle it out, is all I'm saying. Obviously, this wasn't going to be that. We're not that far along. But some interesting stuff here. You are setting up a defensive party. 1 hero, 2 heroes, 3 heroes, and then a party of 4. Your enemy is running in with a team of 4 people. And you're trying to slow them down wave after wave and ultimately block them. So, what kind of heroes can be put into these positions? We also have some arcs. The arc that dropped with Zox 2.0. Pretty much as long as you're the only hero, you get more damage cap, all that stuff. That could actually be useful here, right? Because, well, when playing defense, the first wave, you only have one character out. So I'm assuming all of that's going to apply, right? So just kind of gives you an idea of how you want to set up your defensive team. Offense, I'm still messing around with stuff myself. What's the point of apple pie if nobody's ever going to use it? You can't tell your units what to do. You just have to go with the auto. So I'm thinking a lot of skill charge 1, skill charge 2, skill charge 3, because you're going to want to proc those abilities without having to use an apple pie trick, because you can't exactly expect the AI to do that for you. But if your heroes have abilities that are charged, they will throw them. So skill charge 1, 2, and 3 are looking pretty damn good here for something like this for your team. Now again, I went in this, I didn't know how this was going to go. I thought I would at least be able to control my offensive team. That's not the case. They're just all full auto. Another thing too, tanks are very, very important. If you can throw a Ruto in and he can crowd control everybody with his S2 and force everybody to attack him, you might only need one other damage dealer there to actually wipe out your enemy's party. And the third thing that I've noticed, status is huge. This is why they're not letting us double dip in certain items. There are items that have a chance of blinding everybody as soon as the battle starts, giving them different statuses as soon as the battle starts. You can take out a team of 4 people if they're all blind and they can't hit you, but you can hit them. So if the stars align, I could see a strong 2-man team defending against a whole squad and coming out on top. If you have status on your side, if you have your skills charged up and all your enemies are grouped up around a tank that's aggroing them, all it takes is a couple S2s, maybe an S3. There you go. You just defended the fortress. So a lot of stuff to think about as far as this game mode is concerned, right? How to build your team. There are going to be characters that are just going to be better for a solo slot where you actually have a chance of, shutting down the enemy's team all by yourself. And there's going to be other heroes that they're going to need help. They're going to need a support in the team. Obviously, in your attack team, I think most people are going to bring a healer for their 4th slot, someone to keep the party going just in case you get wiped. I had a pretty decent little fight here. Where did it go? Oh, there he is, Ghost. Got to give props to Ghost. Got to give props to Ghost. I wish you could rewatch these fights, because round 4 we actually had a tie. Let's see, is there any way to replay this? Yeah, there is. Let's see. Opponents. I should be here somewhere. Here we go. Ghosts. Just give you guys an idea. To give you guys an idea of how my first ever run in here was. Now, again, I didn't know how this was going to play out. So, I took my Virgil for my attack team, right? Because I was going to double his hit count and, do all that stuff. That ain't happening. Notice how we're not starting with any MP either, so you can't just have somebody go in here, spam magic, right? This is where it gets interesting, though. The android actually holds up pretty damn well, and she crowd controls my team. Look at that. We're all up in the air. The android could be pretty damn good for this, depending on what mode you set her to. I might have to dust off my 2B, because look at her go. Right? If she didn't have a whole team aggroing her, she might have been able to pull that one off. Status, stun, what's it called? But my whole team was just, they weren't stunned, they were, I forget what they call that, fainted. That goes a long way here. If you can feint the whole team even for a minute, which gives you time to, make a play, throw a couple S1s and S2s without getting interrupted. Luke does killer here. Look at that. He bounces my whole team around, and I'm just stuck doing basic attacks, right? And then we're stunned. Or not stunned, but fainted. Turns the tables, actually starts whooping my ass, outnumbered here, but Big Papa Virgil does get to throw off an S2, which finishes one of their teammates. You start coming back to life, and Virgil, takes the cake. I did put some revive abilities on my heroes. That seems to work all right too, because the enemies will change aggro and go after somebody else. And then that gives your hero a chance to come back to life and maybe throw a skill or an ability. A lot of feint being used here, right? Look, everyone's got stars over their heads. I think this is what really kept me from finishing this one out. This is like a complete feint team. But look, my team's kind of coming back to life too. Oh, there's Virgil. There's Virgil. He's back. He's up in the mix. All it takes is a couple of his S1s and S2s. But hey, time was up. So, as far as I'm concerned, he had the edge here. I just had my Virgil. I think one of my heroes would have come back to life. He still had Yuri and his healer here. So even if the time would have kept going, I honestly think Ghost would have pulled this one off. So Ghost, great defense. Really gave me something to think about. The feint strategy is great. I can see it through I can see it through every wave of this, right? My team is constantly getting feinted. From round 1 to round 2, there was feint everywhere. So I'm going to have to do something about that. I'm going to give my assault team some resistance to feint. I know I have those things. I just need to equip them, right? And something to think about for your defensive team. Give them status. Give them feint. I do have a defensive team set up with V, right? Because V's basic attack is a status machine gun. And that basic attack by default is going to get used as soon as the fight starts. Whether or not we have skills and abilities to throw, V is going to be using his basic attack, and he's going to be statusing the shit out of everybody. So I can't wait for that castle to get attacked, because I would actually like to see how well V performed with all the status and stuff. And I didn't put him in a party by himself. I made sure he had some muscle with him so he can status everybody, and then another hero can clean up after his mess. So anyway, I'm just telling you guys what I'm thinking about here. I hope it gave you something to think about as far as preparing your teams, your defensive teams, keeping your castles. If I missed anything, or if you have any good advice you'd like to share with the class, please leave a comment, right? And I will see you all in the next one. Later, everybody.